today being Veterans Day, it's a time when we look back and honor all of the brave men and women who have served and protected our country, with a very important chapter of history being recognized and located near our community. The Macon-Thomas West Bloomfield chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen. The Tuskegee Airmen were the first African-American military pilots in the U.S. Army during World War II and trained at a segregated base in Tuskegee, Alabama. Today, they continue to spread their history and importance throughout the community. And joining us now on the Splash Live is the president of the Macon-Thomas West Bloomfield chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen, Chuck Mathews. Chuck, thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Of course, really happy to be having you with us on this Veterans Day. What does Veterans Day mean to you personally, and how does it feel to honor the legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen on this occasion?
Well, Veterans Day, for the biggest part, is giving veterans, wherever they are, the recognition, the honor, just the highest level of respect for who they are, what they've done, the sacrifices, and particularly those who have provided the ultimate sacrifice, those who have given their lives in defense of this country, doing what they were ordered to do. And it's not something, they're owed that recognition and honor. And for the Tuskegee Airmen, that history and legacy has so much to offer for all ages. Even now, though World War II has ended many years ago, the accomplishments, the legacy, the history, how they went about facing adversity, facing impediments, facing just out and out a desire for that training to not succeed. Put that all behind, work hard, prove, continue to excel. And they got their shot, and they took advantage of that opportunity and saved this country's pursuit into Germany by protecting those bombers who provided the final blow to Nazi Germany to bring them to the table to say, we give.
You're absolutely right. A very powerful story. And as you said, it is inspiring several generations of people today, including younger generations. How do you think the story really inspires the younger generations, would you say?
When they hear it, when they are told, and it's as I speak around at schools and nonprofits and just general discussions at social gatherings, there are a fair amount of people, young and older citizens, who are not aware of the total story of the Tuskegee Airmen. Not that they have to know all the intricate details, but how they were selected, how they were trained, what they went through, and what they accomplished. It's there's so much to be gleaned from that history, and that's my motivation for becoming a member of a Tuskegee Airmen and a local chapter, is to continue that history, legacy, and contributions of the 332nd Fighter Group, which is who the Red Tails were, protecting the bombers. And for every bomber that is shot down, there's about 10 men whose, if they weren't a father, they'll never be a father, grandfather. Those who had families would never return to those families. So every bomber that is protected, that gets back to base, that's 10 men. And we were losing bombers at a historic rate in those final months and a couple of years going into Germany to try to bring it in to that war. And the heroics of the Tuskegee Airmen provided that final victory blow to Nazi Germany.
That's all right. Very important part of our history, and very crucial part in a very taxing time for America. And with a lot of these values, there was some very important values with the Tuskegee Airmen that are still relevant today. What would you say are some of those values that you see really hitting home with a lot of our residents today?
Well, that is how one approaches adversity, how one approaches negativity, how one would approach just having the proverbial card deck stacked against one. The lesson that I impart to particularly young people is never, never, ever let anyone tell you what you're not capable of, what you can't do, what you don't have in you, even if it's family. You have greatness that's within you, and you have to not buy into you're less than, you can't do this. You're capable of doing so many things that you put your mind, heart, educate yourself, and get it done. Just have that mentality to get it done and not fight physically, but fight mentally, intellectually, and just words of my dad. I remember them clearly, so clearly as I can show you better than I can tell you what I can do.
I love that. I can show you better than I can tell you. Powerful words for everybody to keep in mind. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with the president of the Macon-Thomas West Bloomfield chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen, Chuck Mathews, about the everlasting legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen and the very important messages that people are remembering even today from the work that they have done to protect our country. Now, you and the chapter work to ensure how do you and your chapter work to ensure that the sacrifices and accomplishments of the Tuskegee Airmen are remembered all year round, not just on Veterans Day?
Exactly. We have approached schools and nonprofits, churches, any group. Let us come in and tell you that history and legacy, and for kids, make it fun, make it interesting for the children and the adults. Much of it, I mean, we can thank George Lucas in the filming of Red Tails, and I can't believe how long ago that was. That brought some interest into the story of the Tuskegee Airmen. I spoke at a church just this past Sunday, and there were members there. They took that movie to heart. I said, by and large, the story is true. So some of the intricate details on the dramatic side for movie making, but the gist of that story is the essence of it is accurate. But we visit museums, participate in parades of Memorial Day, just any day, just Independence Day, anything that we do to celebrate the greatness of this country. We want to be part of that and showing that we are part, and we want to honor the contributions of the Tuskegee Airmen.
That's amazing to hear, and it's great to hear of all of these ways that you are continuing to teach everybody about the Tuskegee Airmen, especially people, young students who might be learning about the Airmen for the first time. How do you engage with students who are learning these stories for the first time?
We have linked ourselves with, as a chapter, and we're looking even on a national basis to engage our youth in, we have money management training that we do with our chapter. This teaches kids as young as third, fourth grade about money, managing money, the importance of budgeting, savings, setting goals, and how to negotiate an allowance at home, be a participant at home in what has to be done, and respectfully and effectively asking for an allowance for participating in that. So we do money management. We have a drone training program where we go into schools, churches, nonprofits, and we teach children and teens about flying a drone. And the rules and the laws of drone flying have changed dramatically since drones became popular. There are places you can and cannot fly a drone, places where kids could get their parents in some serious trouble. So we teach them the rules of drone flying and to operate drones recreationally. And we also are getting involved with 107, which is, don't be so caught up on the term and the number, 107 training, which is the introduction to pilot training. And with 107 training, one can fly drones commercially. And that is, they have the opportunity now to earn income. And that's really important for those youth whose track is not particularly going into college to be a doctor, lawyer, scientist, or any of that, or even a trade, plumber, electrician. But drone flight careers, and it's pretty lucrative from what I understand financially as well. And the training is intense, but we're doing those things, the etiquette, how to apply yourself to get a job, and what you need to do to keep a job as a young person. So we're trying to impact many aspects of our youth on things they need with the history and the outline that was provided by the Tuskegee Airmen.
And it's amazing that the legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen has reached all the way to the people of today. Chuck, I want to thank you so much for joining us on the program today. I got one more quick question before we wrap things up. What message would you like to share this Veterans Day about service, perseverance, and carrying forward the legacy of the Tuskegee Airmen?
When anyone watching this program or talks to someone who has seen this program, when you see a veteran, and many proudly wear their caps out in public, just say thank you for your service. So it's just a few words, but it means so much, and do it from the heart. These veterans, many of them are struggling now with what they went through, be it World War II, not many of those left, but Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf Wars, Afghanistan. We thank you for your service, and because it is invaluable to us. They volunteered to do that duty. They did that duty and did it well. And we are experiencing and enjoying the freedoms that we do because veterans have done what they have done. And I just want to thank veterans all over the world for what they have done, are doing, and will do in support of this great country of ours.
And we thank them as well for everything they do to protect our country. Chuck, thank you so much for joining us today here on the program.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.